Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Serie fantasy season. Most of us have heard the sad news that the uh, Serie site that we've been using for the last couple of years will not be running again. And so, with that, we see probably the most established Serie fantasy site is a site called Kickest right now. Um, and yeah, so we're going to dive into this, get the preseason started, and hopefully have some videos coming out for you for this. So the site is called Kickest. This is the logo you can see in beside my face over here. And originally it does come in Italian. If you are an English speaker and want to fix that, kind of follow my mouse clicks here, but you'd go to your account, click the top one, which is account, and the bottom one here is you can toggle between English and Italian, so you can switch things to English. So you're not always forced to see things in Italian. It's a good feature that Kickist added. Also, in a tweet that I put out, it said that you could go to the shop and there would be advantages. And it doesn't say the same thing that it said before, but I can confirm that it doesn't look like there's any paying of money to get an advantage to actually playing the game. It is just to remove ads. So it all looks good. That's not a negative thing that I have against them. So I'll probably just actually delete that tweet so it's not there anymore. But yeah, so it looks fine. If I the only com like I've haven't really been making a team too much. It looks like you can create four teams. I'm just going to be doing one. It's going to be a lot to keep track of as it is. The pricing seems a little crazy, but everyone's going to have the same pricing to deal with, so it's just who can adjust to that the best. This video is just going to be to run through the rules as there are quite a few different rules for the Kickest fantasy. And so we'll dive right into that. So team creation's pretty standard where you have two keepers, five defenders, five mids, three forwards, but you also need a coach. And this is going to be very similar to just having the assistant manager chip from FPL all year long. You also start with 200 credits instead of 100. And we're going to see like the point totals that you get for things is higher, but everything kind of just scales. Based off of what we've seen before. Another difference is you can have four players from the same team. So we're used to two. Fantasy Premier League, people are used to three. You can have up to four, and it's most of the usual formations. I will put the code for our league in the chat, or sorry, not in the chat, in the description, so you can join the league. I have made that. It is also a publicly viewable league, so you can join that. When it comes to managing the team, it's a little more challenging. I kind of like it when you can just set your team for the week and then the site's going to take care of the rest. But things are divided into what's called terms, which is basic turns, which is basically the days within a match day. Kind of like how Champions League fantasy or World Cup or Club World Cup fantasy works, where you can sub players in manually and change your captain manually throughout the game week. The site will not be doing it for you. So not necessarily something that I like about it, but we got to make do with there is. So there's no automatic substitutions, which means to play this, you kind of do got to be a little more focused, kind of checking on things a little more often. But nothing will be automatic. So you can substitute a starting player in, you can change your captain, you can change your formation in between turns. When you sub in a player from your bench, they can score points as usual, and the player that you sub out will now get zero regardless of how many points they had. Which, if they, for instance, get a red card and have negative points, well, that's great. But if, say, they got 5 points or whatever, a decent amount of points, you're risking the player that you're putting in doing even worse. Also, captaincy is taken down a notch where they're only multiplying it by 1.5 rather than 2. I wonder if that's because you can have multiple kicks at the can for the captaincy. Um, but yeah, only 1.5, not double. So we're going to be seeing higher numbers for weekly scores because look how many points they give you. Like a starter will get 5 points. We're used to that being like 1 point, 2 points. But everything, like I said, scales. We're going to be seeing things higher, but everything's kind of bumped up higher. Penalties for points, they just need to win the penalty, not necessarily the goal have to be scored. Handballs will not. be considered in this. So if a player kicks it and the guy handballs it, that player won't get the credit for winning the penalty. There's also those other points like for ball recoveries, duels won, dribbles made. So lots of little other ways of scoring points. I believe these commas are like decimals. This is like for accurate pass, 0.1 points. I don't I don't know. Maybe that's how the decimal is used some places. I don't really know. Um, but you can read through all the different ways of scoring points. I need to go through it more thoroughly because that might affect how things are made. Also, for saves and penalties for the keepers, you just need to go to the side. Here's the coach's scoring. So it is kind of like the assistant manager chip. So depending on how the coach does in that game, goals scored or conceded by that team. And again, the coach is just kind of getting points based on how the team does. Like if I believe if the coach gets booked or something like that, it's not going to count. Um, the thing that is weird is that there will be a coaching coefficient that gets implemented based on how the two coaches compare to each other. And so let's just use 10 as an example. If you have like the top coach facing the worst coach, I think the score that you get, so let's say you get 10 points, it'll get multiplied by 0.6. So you'd actually only get 6 points. There's some coefficient based on how the two coaches are, that multiplies the total points they earn. So getting points with a weaker coach is actually would actually get a higher multiplier than having a better coach. I don't completely understand all the intricacies with it, but that's what I've gathered so far. With transfers, there's a lot of transferring in this. So it opens each match day as per usual. You can have up to five transfers per match day, and there's no carrying over, so there's no banking transfers. So it's you can use up to five. You don't have to use five, but you can use up to five each game week. So it's almost like not a full wild card, but it's almost you could almost pick like a new half of a team every single game week. Player values. It seems like so players will change going up and down. Um, it is based on the score obtained by the player and the starting value of the player. And it looks like you maintain all like whatever it says, whatever they change to is their new value for you as well. So you might get more um, money or you might lose more money to spend on your team. This I wasn't a fan of based on how I interpreted it. If a match is postponed, it just sounds like if it's scheduled within the match day, then great. It'll just be like normal. If it's rescheduled, it's just not going to matter at all. It doesn't really specify will there be like double game weeks or stuff like that. So that's something hopefully we get more clarity on as we go through the season or before the season kicks off would be great. Um, but we know that there's excitement around double and blank game weeks, so hopefully that those exist, but from what I read here, it doesn't. Just as if a match is rescheduled, it is not valid for the game. One other thing actually I wanted to bring back, sorry, I'm just going to go quickly back to player scoring. One key thing that I found for clean sheets, the clean sheet bonus is awarded only if the player has at least 60 minutes played at the end of the match and the team has not conceded a goal. So it sounds like your defender can play 80 minutes, have the clean sheet, get subbed out. If their team then concedes in the 85th minute, they lose the clean sheet as well, which would be pretty frustrating. And I don't really like that. But that's kind of looking like the way it works there. I'm not too worried about explaining late registration. Hopefully, we're all starting on time. And that's kind of it for the rules. So I just wanted to go over the rules for this video. Obviously, we'll get into players, pricing, drafts, all that stuff in the days to come. We have about just under 2 weeks for it, I think. Um, so yeah, but that's where we're starting out. I hope you get in there, start making your team, send your teams below here. Comment them. I'll try to get active on X as well. I hate calling it X. I just like calling it Twitter. Let me know what you think, and yeah, please join the league. Don't forget to like, subscribe, as well as most of the followers do come during preseason, so that would really help me out. And hopefully, I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.